we are talking about properties of rational exponents, and we want to use properties of rational exponents to simplify expressions with rational exponents. So here we want to change each expression from exponential form to radical form. And so we see that we have 4x raised to the 2/3 power. And another way that we can write that is anything that is in the denominator, we can write that as a radical. So in this case, our 3 is in the denominator of the exponent. So we can rewrite that as the radical, and then whatever number is in the denominator goes on the radical as the index number. So here, our denominator is 3. So we have the third root. Then whatever is inside the parentheses, in this case, that just stays under the radical. And we can group under the radical if we want, or we can say that we want to really show grouping. So we're going to make parentheses, and then this whole thing still needs to be squared. So whatever is in the numerator goes on the outside of the parentheses. So we have our squared term, and then we have our radical term. We can do the same thing as we have 2b raised to the 5/6 power. That's the same thing. 2b, we can write that down. And that is going to be under the radical. But in this case, our radical is the 6th root. So the 6th is the index number. And we are raising that to the 5th power. So that whole thing needs to be raised to the 5th power. And so these are both equivalent statements. And the last one we have is 7p raised to the 3/2 power. We can write down 7p. And that is still going to be the square root. And in this case, if we have square root, because that's in the denominator, we actually don't write that down. It's understood that there's a 2 there. And then this is all raised to the 3rd power. So 2, if it's square root, it's understood. We don't write it down. But any other number, 6 or 3 or 5 or 4, we write that down as the index number.